Hey guys, Brandon and Willem hanging out in the CCM Cafe today with our friend Laurel Taylor. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. So you got a brand new single out. We're going to talk about that in a second. But just in case these folks have never seen this name and face, I think we got to start with who you are.
That's right. Well, I'm Laurel Taylor. I'm originally from Montgomery, Alabama, but I've lived in Nashville for 13, 14 years now. And I've went from every genre possible, but I'm sticking to the pop right now.
And you got the new single coming out here. Well, by the time people see this, it's probably already out there, so they can
That's
stream
right.
it. Let's
Yeah.
talk about Catch a Breath.
Yeah, so Catch a Breath was written just about anxiety and struggling with having a panic attack in the moment. I never understood what anxiety was. And me and a co-writer friend of mine wrote Catch a Breath. And it was just a moment of figuring out what anxiety really feels like.
And you did another song today, too, that kind of had that same message. Is this a path you're going down this year with the mental health stuff?
I think so, and it was very not planned at all. As an artist, you got all these different ways to go, but you truly got to figure out like what's meaningful, what's the purpose behind it, and what's genuine. And right now, I'm just in a vulnerable state.
Yeah. With what you played today, definitely would be described as a storytelling song. Is that something that's crossed over all these genres you've done over the years? Have you always been a storyteller?
100%. And I've always been told to sell the song, to tell the story, not just sing it. And so I've always stuck with that of leaning into my personality and just who I am in Jesus one and just who I am in life.
In this Christian genre, sometimes the mental health is a little bit taboo. What made you want to go down this route and make sure that you get this message out to this audience?
So it's really cool. When we wrote Catch a Breath, like I said earlier, I didn't necessarily believe that struggle of anxiety was a real thing. It's not something I struggle with. That wasn't something I could relate to. And one day I had this like panic attack that I couldn't explain. And a few years down the road after that, we're sitting in the room, and Lauren, my co-writer, was like typing all these different lists out that are like, this is what anxiety feels like. Well, I just put the melody to it, and it became Catch a Breath. And then a few months later, sitting at the piano, challenging myself to write something that's deeper than I usually write. I write a lot of surface stuff, just fun, happy-go-lucky stuff. But for once, I was like, God, give me something a little deeper. And me is about not being enough. And it's an everyday thing for me. I truly believe I don't feel enough, but I am enough in Jesus. And that I know that's cliche, but that's what I have to remind myself. If that is, sometimes I feel like I'm not enough for my family. Sometimes I feel like I'm not enough for my friends around me, or just people that watch what I do. You're just never going to be enough for people. And at the point where we're writing, I just don't care anymore because I know what God says about me, and that's all that matters.
So you've been in Nashville all these years now, not only songwriting and artist, but you talk about a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. What all are you doing here in the Nashville world in the music industry?
Yeah, I mean, I wear a lot of different hats. I just don't really talk about it. I co-manage an artist management company, and we have about 10 to 12 artists on our roster, which is super cool, from every genre you can think of, not just in the Christian vein. And I actually co-produced all the songs that are coming out. So it's exciting. It's fun. It's a lot of different, I wouldn't call it balancing it, but it's just trying to figure out which hat am I putting on today, if I'm holding a camera or if I'm behind the computer producing or if I'm behind the mic.
Yeah. That helps save a little money, too, when you can wear that many hats in Nashville.
Absolutely. Do it all myself. We got it.
Love it. We've got at least one more song coming out here in a few weeks. What's after that? Is there more music coming, or do we get to wait and see how these stream and then get a little bit of money and we'll go back in the studio?
Yeah. That's real. So I have Catch a Breath and then me, and then I've got a few more songs coming out, just piano and vocal, very raw, but we're really excited about it.
So even if people don't know your name, it's likely they may have heard a song that you've been a part of at some point. You've written plenty of Christian songs too, but also TV and film. Some of these movies and shows have used your music. What's one of those projects that people probably have no idea you're involved in, but you can be like, you heard it on that show?
Yeah, so I do a lot of TV and film stuff. I'm a lot of behind the scenes when it comes to production or top lining. So what's crazy is I have a song I wrote for this veteran series that is out right now and all over but I wrote the song, I produced the song, and I performed the song in Washington. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Went all the way to, doing a whole Memorial Day thing about it. So, but I also have a few songs on CBS that are signed. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
They're not out yet, but they're getting there.
Yeah, is there a point where like it takes so long to get these songs out that you hear it on the show, you're like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. Oh, that is my song.
Yes, like sync is a hurry up and wait industry, and I've never thought that until I was actually in it.
And you have to put your songs on hold for a little bit. You never know what's going to happen
and
with them.
then
Are they ever going to get used? Yeah.
They'll let them go and be like, that's not the one. And then they'll hold them forever, and then they'll give them back to you. It's crazy. It's a crazy industry.
Yeah. So you recently wrote a song that Meredith Andrews cut too, right?
Yes. So People in Songs, I was a co-writer called Psalm 23, I'm Not Alone. And then Meredith Andrews and Phil King actually cut it just, I believe, last year. And that was the coolest, most exciting thing to just wake up and be like, wait, this song is like resurfacing again.
Yeah.
It already puts food on my table for sure. So for them to cut it was super cool.
Yeah, that's great. So outside of Nashville, are people going to get a chance to see you live this year? Any touring in the works?
Yes, absolutely. I'll be at several of the festivals this year, including Soul Fest and a few others. But I'm also going on tour. It's called Invasion Tour, and it's with a bunch of rappers. I'm really excited. Just me opening up for people like Stephen Malcolm, Mission, and a few others. So
that's awesome.